welcome to 2026. Yay!
New year.
New season of Footie Femme Fatale. The season itself, the local leagues, are halfway now, and we have a lot to discuss. So let's roll the
do.
new 2026 intro.
Turn the volume on for a woman's football show. You're listening to Footie Femme Fatale, a women's football podcast.
Welcome everyone to the Footie Femme Fatale podcast, and I'm joined with two of our co-hosts again. You've already seen them last May with the three of us, last December with Kyra. So yeah, the new season of the Footie Femme Fatale is now second season, first episode. Second half of the season has started. Just some highlights. What can we look forward to in 2026? The Women's Champions League final in Oslo in May. The first Women's Europe Cup final will also happen. And the first Women's Championship Cup will happen this month and in February. But first of all, welcome to Kyra and Aldona. Kyra, how have you been?
Hey, nice to be back, reunited, us three after
May last year.
last
It
year.
was a while ago.
No, it's really good to be back together with the gang.
What did you do in the
yeah,
winter break? Because I think you have a story to tell.
I do, yeah. I wanted to share a story, and I haven't told you yet, Aldona, so it's even more
Oh.
exciting. So, I was really lucky. I was able to be in South Africa and Botswana for Christmas period, so I escaped the cold. And
The snow, you mean?
I know I missed the snow, the snow that never happens here in the Netherlands. But so I did a wine tour in Stellenbosch in in South Africa,
Okay.
and you just like you're with a friend, and you're like, but we knew that someone else would join the tour, like one other person. And then we jumped on, and it was a lady, I would say, a little bit older, in her 60s. No, maybe she's older than that, 70s. And she's from South Africa. And I always start with anyone I would meet, like, I'll try and wrap this up quick, but it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Like any drivers or any people, like I always wanted to strike up a conversation and hear. And it was always relate to sport, because sport is huge in South Africa, especially rugby and cricket.
Mhm.
And then she started explaining how she knows a lot about football, super modest in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, me too. I got really enthusiastic. And then she said her name, Fran Hilton Smith, and our lady. So her name is Fran Hilton Smith. And
We'll insert a picture, right?
yeah. You'd definitely get a picture up. So she is like a godmother of South African football. So she's the person that sort of was the
Nice.
trailblazer in the 70s that sort of made women's football in South Africa by herself, really. So this is 1970s. She's the reason Banyana, which is the South African women's football team, exists. So all the inclusion and diversity efforts, like she's just been at the forefront. And so our driver, her name is Tarin. She was losing it as well, and she's not big into football, but she was like, yeah, this woman she changed the face of female sport in South Africa. And I was like, how is this happening?
Is she like the Michelle Kong of that time?
Yeah, we were speaking about Michelle Kung. I would say so, but
Yeah.
maybe less of the business acumen, more of the football heritage and history and passion for it. And she also, I told her about a podcast.
Good.
Of
Did you give her a
course.
sticker?
And no, I didn't. I straight away was like, we'd love to have you on, because that sounds professional. And I think we would love to have her on.
Yeah,
Like, we could do
sure.
one even remotely. And she was just really enthusiastic. She was like, it's great. She found women's European football just advancing so much, and it's just really great to meet someone who from that era, like being right at the beginning of it, and what we see now. And now it's like, what are the chances, right? You just go on holiday and you meet someone like that. So
I'm
that
just
was a
gonna
story.
say I don't believe in coincidence. So.
Yeah, it was meant to be, right?
Yeah. So stay tuned if you want to see this
fingers
exclusive
crossed.
interview.
Yeah, and definitely check out her story, Fran Hilton Smith. She's
Okay,
been,
Fran
and
Hilton Smith.
we'd never heard of her, but she's done a lot of work.
Amazing. So that was your winter break.
That was, yeah.
Well, we had an actual winter break,
Yeah.
meaning there was a lot of snow. Aldona, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
Any exciting Well, maybe you should show your wrist to everyone.
I'm still recovering, yes.
Oh.
But
Nothing
happy to be
serious?
here.
Not
Oh,
the
it's if that's serious, semi-serious. Let's say semi-serious. Yeah.
So you can't work, but you can talk. So you're on this,
So she's here.
so you're on this podcast.
And we're calling it a sports injury for the record.
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. We'll stay mysterious. We don't know how this happened. It's not an
It's a
ACL.
story for another podcast.
Nice, nice, very nice.
Amazing. All right, so let's go through all of our amazing segments. They're back
Yeah.
again in 2026 with new bumpers and new leaders and all of that jazz. So let's go to the flag is up.
Diversity, equity, inclusion, revolution, queer community, and feminist. This is when the flag is up.
All right,
Yeah,
so
the flag is up.
the flag is up,
Tammy.
and now you've heard in the intro that this is where we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and everything that's on side, meaning positive or negative, offside. So, what are we talking about? So, first of all, the FA Cup in the UK, or is it England? I think it's just England. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
just England.
Just
yeah.
England.
Yeah.
They just had, I don't know which round it was, but there was some controversy because the fourth round, that
Yeah,
was it.
fourth, yeah.
Chelsea versus Crystal Palace was not broadcasted anywhere. And Chelsea is a huge club. Where's your shirt?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, yes, it's a huge club.
And it was not broadcasted on TV or streaming, so that's definitely offside. This
so
is
it
negative.
literally went out to no one, if I understand
Exactly.
correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild, because it's probably the biggest football tournament in England after the Premier League, the WSL. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's crazy, Tammy. Yeah.
So that was
Controversial. And again, do we
Don't
know
matter.
the reasons? Broadcast money.
probably
One
money.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah. And then speaking of the FA Cup, so there was one match from AFC Bournemouth. Is that how you
Yeah,
say it?
Bournemouth. Yeah.
Bournemouth, of course, was not allowed to play on the pitch despite an 11-day gap to the next men's game. So their big stadium, they obviously wanted to play. So they were playing against. I have not written it down, but it was a big club.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they were not allowed to play on the pitch, even though there was an 11-day gap. So normally,
Yeah.
if you're a footballer,
Yeah.
if there's another match upcoming,
The grass has got.
yeah, the grass needs to
ground.
recover and
ground.
blah blah.
Mm.
But this is 11 days, which is plenty of time for the
Yeah.
grass to
Yeah.
recover.
Yeah, that sounds like a big excuse.
Yeah.
Alarm bells. But then, do you know what happened in the end? They had to play after.
They
the
played
11
at a
days.
different, a smaller,
And are there any rumors what the reason was? And
just, yeah. How do you say politically correct answers?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's
No.
because of the pitch, but it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. But we all
also
know. what-
Yeah, the prioritization of the
Exactly.
the males game. Yeah.
Anyway, that was definitely offside.
Very offside. That
Very offside.
That requires a red light.
Oh,
But no,
yeah.
it's on.
Onside then, green light.
Hmm.
green light. UEFA. So the European Federation within FIFA. Everyone, we're talking about Europe, so this is obviously UEFA has
Yeah.
committed 1 billion euros to invest in women's football by 2030. So we're obviously now in 2026, so that's 4 more years. They want to commit because they see investments. They want to invest in the game. They want to invest in pitches. They want to invest in anything else.
Very, very good. To
So
hear
this is
that,
very
yeah.
positive news because I
Mm.
think especially when we were covering the Euros, you could see it is rising. It's
Absolutely.
still rising.
The
Uh,
competitions, the new leagues, the players, the new managers, the investment. Yeah.
Investment. So
Yeah.
now UEFA, so at least the European branch of the FIFA is like, yeah, let's invest.
Nice. Good stuff.
Positive news. And then the menstrual cycle.
Oh, yeah.
We're always talking about menstrual cycle.
You're pointing at me as
I
the
know.
only menstruating
That's why you're
person in
invited.
that room.
So
Was this just announced news? What you're about?
this
to-
was recently,
Yeah.
I guess.
Because we've spoken about the need to talk about menstruation when it comes to injuries or
Yeah.
how women recover, like because it's not a factor in the men's game, of course, or
Yeah.
and like why it's not considered a serious, yeah, condition to how you play. So this is really positive news what you're about to share.
Yeah, so UEFA basically had a statement where they said we're gonna be tracking the menstrual cycle more within the women's players, uh, just to see how it actually affects women's body, and also if indeed it affects more a possibility of injury, and all of that. So it's again UEFA saying,
Yeah.
okay, let's actually, it is a problem, probably. So let's actually set up a panel of experts, which they're gonna do, and then they were gonna track it at least, I don't know how long, but just to get more data. Because I think last time when we talked about it, there's just a lack of data, right? So there's no, it is an assumption that it has something to do with it, which makes sense. Like if you see the stats, okay, people that get the ACL or the other injury often are on their menstrual cycle. But now they're actually gonna track it. Okay, is it actually true? How are we gonna change the game or the training schedules or anything that has to do with women? Because most research is attached to men.
It is, yes, yes.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting research to follow. However, I'm also concerned about the safety of data. So I really hope they're gonna choose credible partners to work with.
What makes you say the same? I'm not aware of it. Yeah.
It's just a little bit offside, but there's a lot of talk about like even if you as a customer using any of the menstrual tracker on your phone, using any of the app, this data are highly sensitive, and they also in high demand for advertisement and advertisers and all the parties to sell you stuff, knowing at what point of your cycle you are and what's your needs, what's your emotional behaviors.
Very nice. So you're saying, however, because immediately when you said tracking, I was like, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah.
Because that these are people at the top of their game. You want them to also not be negatively affected to have by having this data out there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Curious to keep an eye on the details, like you said, like what are they going to do?
Anyway, yeah, so it's an interesting development for sure. Let's keep an eye out on what's happening there. So thanks, UEFA. Yeah, you're on the on-site side of things. Moving on to the spotlight story.
Sometimes the story is so big to discuss. We highlight everything that is a big buzz. Research and expertise. This is the spotlight story. Spotlight story, let's go.
All right, the spotlight story. So there was a big headliner in the recent weeks talking about the FIFA Women's Club World Cup. So just quickly, since you're the football expert here, what is the Club World Cup? Because Chelsea won the first one.
Yeah, it's a big one. We won the first one. So Chelsea, because I played there. I always do. We did we? Yeah, we won the first one and the last one. So basically, if I remember correctly, you've got to correct me. In the men's game, and I believe it's exactly the same in the women's, it's the winner of the Champions League and the Europa League.
Oh yeah.
And those two winners. So these are the top two competitions in Europe, outside of a regular country league. They play once a year, and this is called the Club FIFA World Cup.
And it's totally new for the men's game.
Yeah.
So now they want to bring it to the women's game as well, because now, besides the Champions League, you also have the Europe Cup, which is basically the Europe League for women. So now they want to have a discussion about hosting the FIFA Women's Club World Cup in, of all places, drumroll, Qatar in 2028. So, as you can imagine, if we go back a few years, 4 years ago, there was a World Cup in Qatar, and there was a lot of controversy there as well.
Yeah. Very much
So what were the examples? Do you know?
of the
I'm just kidding.
controversies?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
please.
sure Aldona remembers as well. We spoke about it a lot at the time. Now it was coming back to me. I think we definitely spoke about. So then the controversy leading up to the vote, I remember, was because we need to all remember that Qatar was chose from a selection of countries, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
So
and
FIFA hosts like a
yeah, like a what do you call it?
not
Like a
a
bidding,
yeah,
a bidding
exactly.
event, and that happens with all of these tournaments. And I know one of the countries at the time was New Zealand. It was Qatar, New Zealand, which is always an issue, been tricky a thing with Australia and New Zealand, of course.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there was already, and so when there was a decision that was made, of course, you immediately go to human rights, and
Yeah.
then as we've seen with other former big events, for example, the Rio 2016 Olympics, there's a lot of controversy around the structure. It's often about how these big stadiums in short amount of time structured by
Yep.
humans, right? And maybe, yeah, Aldona, you know, or you remember a bit more like this sort of the conditions and
The
people,
human rights
the human rights,
in
yeah,
Qatar.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, one of the things that spiked a lot of controversy was, I think, this investigation run by The Guardian at that time that
I remember, yeah.
estimated the number of workers that amount to a few thousands that died during those construction
Yeah.
work, and that was
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember.
and it was
Yeah.
both, like it was due to the conditions they live with, also the work conditions, the heat,
Yeah.
and also how those cases were not explained or sometimes even marked as suicide or
Yeah.
not really like an injury during the work time.
Yeah.
So that was big, definitely. And I really had hope that even that lead to those World Cup
Yeah.
that will be addressed in some way
I also had hope with this.
and
Yeah.
resolve,
Yeah.
and the victims or their families will be. I don't know if you can contribute for somebody deaf in that case, but I was hoping those people will be. It seems that up to now that was not addressed properly. I remember that FIFA did some kind of fund, but they didn't really give the money to the people that were like subjected to wage theft or like to the family of the people that that died on the constructions, but they just give it to like non-profit organizations to support the work further. Yeah, from the law perspective, I think there was also a lot of talk about this. I don't know if you remember something that there was like a law that was changed, like because that I think Qatar have a lot of migrant workers, and I think we are all kind of familiar with this. And the law was quite extreme. You need to have permission of your employer to leave the country. They changed that before the World Cup.
It does ring a bell, but didn't you, so the law changed for the countries that were sending
For the employees that theoretically they could leave the country without the employer permission to leave the country. However, from a lot of stories circulating, they kind of still need a permission to leave the job. Like they need a signature on the paper stating that they're resigning, which, to be honest, that was also hard to get. So the law didn't change that much, and
There's also just a shady temporary law change.
yeah,
right?
and yeah, exactly as you're
Yeah,
saying,
again.
because I think in 2024 they were just talking about bringing back that law, especially for domestic workers.
Right. There
So
we go.
it's for me it's a little bit like
I think it's like modern slavery.
it is
Yeah.
it's a modern slavery.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
then like the idea, as we were saying, Aldona, it was before and it was after and nothing changed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just change
yeah.
for the show to say to like
Yeah.
because there was some pressure before the games.
Yeah.
So there were
A lot.
some smaller changes made to show to make us make I think Qatar look good.
Yeah,
And-
100%.
and
Look accessible to people coming abroad. And I remember at the time there were homosexual people and people in interracial marriages or whatever, that they didn't, although as much as they loved football, they would never have thought about going. They didn't feel safe. But I
Yeah.
did feel like in some of those press interviews, they would really try to media, let's say, and I'm talking European media as well, show that it's safe. You can come.
Just change the narrative to, yeah.
Especially during the tournament.
I saw that a lot. There was also a lot of, I think, interviews with women supporters coming to Qatar and showing their side of the stories, that they feel
Yeah.
very safe in the country.
Yeah, these
That-
influencers that were hired by the
yeah.
government.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so I
So
mean,
what about-
how do
okay.
we feel? It's the
Yeah.
women's game.
So what about the
like,
women's?
Yeah, it's just
Um,
like it would be the biggest women's competition in the world, going to a place where I don't know about women's rights there, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're sensing right, because I think Qatar is really good in the PR game. So I'm not sure how everybody feel about women rights in Qatar, because if you have like a spokesperson that is a woman telling you that in Qatar constitutions there's equality between men and women,
Yeah.
that they have the highest rate of women graduate from the universities,
Yeah.
and also well, it's actually true. Is in Arabic world they have the highest rate,
Okay.
even higher than men,
Okay.
and that they also have high number of women working in government or quasi-governmental jobs. This sounds good.
Yeah.
You would say
I'm
it's-
saying this sounds very good.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's only like a small minor like problem with this. Let's just say.
Oh.
It's all
The-
fake.
Oh,
Well,
no. Is it?
it's partial. Like
It's just
those
one-
facts are true. It's just that everything that I talk about too is subject to the law that is kind of called like a male guardianship, which means women to do certain things, like to study on government scholarships, or to work in government positions that mostly women do. They need to have a male permission.
Oh,
sh-
that's a big caveat.
This is slavery.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
it's all sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you're a married woman, this is your father or brother or your
Oh, yeah,
uncle.
Okay. And that goes for your basic tasks, right? Or if you want to buy a house, you want to drive.
Yeah, that's actually just before the World Cup in 2020. There was a big, I think women's rights were put a little bit in the spotlight on Qatar, because there was a big case of Qatar women escaping from the country, bribing like a permission, the male permission to leave the country. And because of that, they lift the permission that you have to achieve uptime to get the driving license. So you don't need permission to do a driving license, although your family can kind of decide if you can drive or no. Because if they say no and your husband say you cannot drive, you pretty much can't drive. So
Wow.
What century are we living?
Yeah, indeed. And then, what century? And then you want to put a competition where you have all countries from all over the world that operate in, I would say, very different ways.
Yeah.
And then broadcast that to the world.
yeah, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. What
Um,
do you're absolutely against it?
um,
I'm curious. I mean, yeah.
I would definitely love to hear what the players say
Yeah.
about that, and I don't know if
Me too.
anybody is asking them about the opinion about this, as well as the clubs.
Yeah.
However, I also think what would be very important to mention that the big talk during the 2022 Cup was about male migrant workers that are building the stadiums.
Oh, true.
They already have the infrastructure. Of course, they have to maintain it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Offside, they kind of promised to deconstruct it because of the environmental factors. They never did deconstruct those
still
stadiums,
standing.
even the not the temporary ones. So it's like the awaiting something to happen there.
Okay, the key is there.
But I think the focus, why Qatar is competing for a women cup, should be on female migrant workers, because this is mostly a domestic help, and domestic help have even less rights that you would call like privilege. Group of Qatar women that maybe enjoy some of the rights because of more liberal families that maybe allow them to do certain stuff. But we're also talking here about a big group of women that have no privileges at all. That working, there are stories of them working 18 hours a day, they pretty much available 24/7. They getting their passports confiscated. They cannot leave the countries. They also having problems with getting their wages paid, which is already very low wages because
And
it's
then
like
it's not getting
$260 per month. So I think we should also put attention on that and talk a little bit more about what's happening in Qatar before we will give such a big event related to women to this country. But I also want to ask you, because I do feel that maybe women football is even more connected to like a queer communities' rights, to women rights in general. Like, how do you feel like supporters of women football would feel about that?
I mean,
What do you think, Tammy? I don't. I mean, yeah.
so the weird thing to me, especially, is because there's so many. Speaking for the queer community here, obviously there's a lot of out players in Europe, in America, wherever.
Yeah.
But then same sex is illegal
Yes,
in
it's illegal.
Qatar.
Yeah.
So why would you bring those players in when you know they wear the rainbow captain bands and they are out and they have girlfriends on the pitch? or
Exactly.
not?
They'll be on the
Like-
pitch. The family will be in there. Maybe have babies.
Yeah.
You know, they'll have their whole life out there.
So it just sounds so weird to me. It doesn't match at all. Like it's very out of the blue, and we all know why it would be there because of money.
Yeah.
But then again, like if same sex is illegal there, so you have all these gay players on the pitch. Who is gonna watch that in Qatar? Which men are gonna be like, oh, let's look at them and watch them play? Because you're not doing it for the local economy there.
No.
Because they're not gonna come to the stadium because they don't like gay people.
But this is we're opening up a very interesting point here. I think everyone knows now. It's very well known that the women's football game has statistically high open homosexual couples. Like it's just accepted, and like you said, it's almost encouraged it more, which is great. But in the men's game, that doesn't exist at all.
Yeah.
And so I think if we're going to compare the Qatar 2022 with if this happens with the Qatar Women's World Cup, it's going to be totally different in that scale. We're bringing in sexuality here as well. So that might be the thing that sways it against, to be honest. That's a big... Because I don't think it's going to be the sport and it's not going to be the money. Because
even the players, they should stand up and be like, well, I cannot be myself in that country, so why would I be there and play a tournament?
But then it's the ultimate question. You ask athletes to put their ambitions, the biggest tournament they'll ever play, on hold because FIFA have decided, our favorite FIFA, that they want to put it in Qatar, and that's when they're placed with the question, and that's when you had players at 2022. In the end, they wanted to play, and the German team and other teams protested, but they will always turn up, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm more like, I don't have faith. I feel like I've seen this before. I think people will end up there. It's going that way in general with sports and sports washing, if we can say.
Yeah.
It's just becoming normalized, you know. Yeah.
Do you also think, because I read somewhere that before Qatar 2022, the Qatar kind of established a women football team?
I remember that. Yeah. That was, like a pop-up.
Yeah, like because they not in the statistics, they're not playing, right? They're
and we were all supposed to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that comments the situation the best. That it's kind of like a facade, like
a show,
an
exhibition.
Yeah, it's a show.
Exhibition,
Yeah. How silly.
But that is controversial and big news, and I wonder we should keep track of that because in 10 years' time, I think in less time that could happen, you know.
Yeah.
The construction of these stadiums, like you were saying, Aldona, they kept them, right? They said that they would bring them down because environment.
They were supposed to bring some not permanent one down, and also limit capacity of some of them to make them smaller to
Yeah, because no one's
adjust.
going to
Yeah,
those
exactly.
stadiums.
And this is a small country of 3 million people. So how many people we can expect at the one game? So they were supposed to make them smaller and actually donate those materials to countries that may be in demand
Yeah,
of
sure.
football building materials for their stadiums.
Yeah, I'm not hopeful about
As I'm aware that not happen.
What about the female male rights? And I'm just thinking, yeah, that's going to be on live broadcast to the world. And
I mean, it's all a
Yeah.
show, isn't it? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
look, we're the best country
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the best stadiums.
Yeah.
indeed,
And then when it's
money.
done, I mean,
it's
look
over.
what happened in Rio de Janeiro. Same thing with all the
Yeah.
stadiums.
Oh,
Nothing.
yeah.
It's all a mess.
Yeah, that was really bad, actually. Yeah, as well.
Anyway, it's all about money.
It is.
Speaking
it
of money.
is. Oh, yes, good segue into the next point.
We're talking about. Thank you, Aldona, for your insightful.
Yeah, no, very fascinating.
Yeah, facts, guys. Don't come at us. It's all facts.
Facts, political.
Well, anyway, equity. We're talking about
Yes.
well, in general, we're just talking about equity, how women's right, men's right, and
Mm.
now we have a lot of development in the women's team, women's sports, women's football.
Mm-hmm.
We just looked at a small video about the coaching gap, meaning there's
Uh-huh.
not a lot of female coaches. We'll just insert a little clip of that.
In Germany, we are seeing something historic. The Frauen-Bundesliga currently has 6 female head coaches, the highest number ever. In a 14-team league, that's around 40%. If we look at other major leagues, the stories are very different though. In leagues like the WSL and the NWSL, female head coaches are still a minority, but the numbers are relatively higher, sitting roughly in the 1/3 range. Now there are other top leagues like Spain, where only 2 teams in the top division are coached by women. In Italy, there's just 1, and in France, even with some progress, female head coaches still make up only a quarter of the league. So why is that? It's not a lack of qualified women. In Germany alone, the number of licensed female coaches has risen sharply in recent years. The talent pool does exist. What's missing is what happens around the job. As Casey Stoney has pointed out, the difference often lies in structure. Leagues like the WSL, coaches have access to associations, mentoring networks, and support around contracts and career progression. In other systems, that framework simply does not exist.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? We just saw the video.
Yeah. Again, for me, in the last 15 years, it's been, especially because it is the women's game, right? I grew up and I was just thought, I would see coaching and physios and managers, and they'd all be at the top level, and also at any level, they would be female. It just somehow connected that with me. But then, no, as more and more I saw. So yeah, I struggle with that a bit. It doesn't connect with me. I don't know why there are lots of women players and not enough women coaches.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they're
funny.
there, but why are they not getting the jobs? Why are they not getting the opportunities? And that's what, yeah.
So it's all about
Clip.
structure and support and well, visibility.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. Arsenal and Chelsea do very well in 2025.
Yeah.
You put this article in.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh. Remind me.
They are the richest earning
like
class.
that. Sorry, I thought you meant managers. Yes. So,
No.
so over the years, however long we've been doing the podcast, not been years, but I feel like it's been years.
It's been years.
I always highlight Chelsea are the most expensive or most financially successful club in terms of what they bring in, but they've been pushed off the leaderboard
Bye.
by Arsenal. Painful to say.
North
But-
London.
Yeah, North London. No, Arsenal, but they I don't remember the amount, but they are now the number 1 most expensive club in Europe.
Wow.
I think in maybe not the world, maybe Europe, because America does it differently.
America. Yeah, that's different.
But yeah, that's so we're really seeing money is
flowing.
flowing. Money is flowing, and
Well, they won the Champions League, so
yeah, where the big winners go, the money leads you
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
right? Yeah, I mean it's good to see, but I always feel a bit alarmed when, because you know what it leads to. It leads maybe to unfairness somewhere else, right? teams
yeah.
are the gap between the teams at the bottom where they don't. have
Speaking
that.
of unfairness,
Oh gosh, yeah. What? Tell me.
Trinity Rodman.
Oh, what
Just kidding.
Nepo? Oh, sorry.
No.
Take that out.
So we just
Oh yes, go
we
on.
literally just saw the news today that
Yes.
Trinity Rodman is going to be the most paid
Highest paid footballer.
footballer.
Breaking news, guys.
Breaking
It just
news.
revealed today. You might recognize the surname.
Rodman.
Dennis, insert picture, or maybe not. Maybe just
We
Trinity.
all know Dennis
Okay.
Rodman.
Yeah.
Daughter of Dennis Rodman. So she is reported by her agent to earn $2 million.
Yeah, including or excluding bonuses. I mean, does it matter at that point?
Yeah, exactly. Per year, which is funny because there is a cap,
Oh, yeah.
team's cap, which was 3.5 million per
Yeah.
team.
Which
Which
means
means
someone did
The
math
rest
quick.
of the team is earning $1.5 million.
Yeah, and
What?
that I think is a concern, right? We think.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like to see women earn that much.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's just like
Makes no sense.
like
this.
why-
Yeah.
I can imagine probably the cap is put there for some good reason. But
Sure,
when we're changing the rules of the game, we also need to make it more, I think, fitting the reality. I don't know how
Equity,
it works
yeah.
in men's football.
That's so interesting that you just said that. I suddenly thought it did once exist that way. There were one or two players in the men's game that were the highest earners, but this was maybe 20, 30
I was just
years
going to
ago.
say, how long ago?
It's a
was
while
this?
ago.
Yeah.
It's funny, I totally forgot that. So maybe this is, I don't know if it's a copy and paste progression method, like that you say maybe there's reasons.
Yeah,
you
it
want
could
it to
push it
balance
forward
out.
to say, well, this person is earning, so we should have more money because we want Naomi Gurma or whoever.
Yeah, she's on the back.
All right.
Yeah,
Interesting development there.
23 years old, the future's bright.
Yeah. So Washington Spirit, she already was there, so she's not transferring. So she just re-signed a new contract, which was also owned by
Oh, this
Michelle Kang.
Michelle Kang, yeah.
So that's where the money is, basically. That was it for our spotlight story, and it talks about Qatar in our equity, which means we move on to one of our final segments, the off-pitch antics.
Antics.
Stayed in lately, who had a baby, more than players. Where's all the drama, with all the karma, what's happening off the pitch? The off-pitch antics, here we go.
It's been a steamy. No, maybe we don't want to say that. It's been a steamy few months.
Winter break.
Winter break, yeah. We've got some off-pitch antics.
I
things
mean,
have been
last
happening.
year when we did this, I think Lindsay Horan got married in the winter break.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But now we've seen a lot of marriages in
lot
the
of
off-pitch antics, so we're talking about. Basically, this is our gossip little 10 minutes of gossip.
And there's a lot. There's a lot.
So there's some couples that were sort of semi-official, Instagram official, confirmed sort of type of thing.
Investigative journalism was
This
done.
is this is just me scrolling through my Instagram. But yeah, Leah Walti, sorry, Mariona Caldente were obviously were confirmed. Lucy Bronze and Ona Bache were also sort of confirmed.
Wait, Lucy Bronze, did you say? Oh, I
Yeah,
thought that
yeah,
she
yeah.
was dating. Oh, okay.
Kira
Okay.
Walsh.
Yeah.
That was locked.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I'm in the past.
Then
Very
there was a lot
nice.
of weddings. The
Oh.
legend Marta from Brazil was married. Tiana Endler. I'm just gonna put all the pictures. I'm not gonna go through each of them. Sam Kerr, which was a big one,
Oh, yeah.
got married. Some
Love
engagement
Sam.
and baby news. I mean, I'm not gonna mention all of these because you just have to follow them on Instagram. And then one other off-pitch antic, Alexia Putellas, the Barcelona/Spain midfielder, is gonna have her own movie
Oh, yeah.
in 2027.
Tell us more. Is it like an autobiography?
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's about a girl who wants to break through in football,
Oh,
but obviously has all these
storytelling.
challenges. Yeah,
Wow.
so it's gonna be autobiographic,
Very nice.
a biopic.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, me too. What a career she's had and is still having.
It's still having,
Yeah.
still active. Yeah.
Very good.
Or any other off-pitch antics I forgot about?
I don't think
Aldona is the
so.
expert here.
I don't think
I
so.
mean, I'm actually pretty disappointed that you run this wedding and baby
I mean,
section.
it's
So quick.
I know.
Quick,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what a podcast is all
Spill some
about.
tea, Tammy.
Yeah,
spill
And
some
there's
tea.
no
tea.
teeth in
I will say, if I may say, maybe it's said in previous episodes,
Tell me.
it's just nice that there is lots
Love.
of relationships.
I mean,
Yeah,
exactly.
like in the league of, because okay, we know that romances happen in the office. This is the equivalent, right?
Exactly.
But I just like that it's not secretive. Like I feel like it can be, and this is more normalized, and it's just I don't know. Maybe that's just.
I mean,
me.
yeah,
yeah.
I obviously rushed through it because there's just a
There's
lot
a
of
lot.
couples. But we should
Yeah.
not take it for granted because, let's be honest, most of them are gay couples.
Yeah.
And do we see the men gay couples doing this?
Not
Nope.
at all. Not at all. In 2026, we don't hear it. Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I do want to mention it, but
That's
you
why
know,
it's important.
it's
yeah.
normalized
We
there.
celebrate it. Yeah. And no baby news. I feel like
There
was a lot of baby news
There was
last year.
baby news in the sense of someone was pregnant,
Oh,
but not
okay. not.
no
Yeah.
babies popping out. I don't think.
I mean, we'll probably hear about it soon.
Exactly.
If there's any.
In the next podcast, we'll
Yeah.
have more baby news. But yeah, that was it for the off-pitch antics, which is our last segment is coming up. All right, coming up. So it's January now, the end of January. So what's next in January and February? So what can we look forward to after you finish this podcast, basically? What is in the news of football? The FIFA Women's Champions Cup.
Yes.
That
Can
is
I say
new.
one thing about this?
Yes.
So Fran, who I mentioned at the top, I'm saying first name like she's a friend. Fran, she mentioned that she helped sort of was an ambassador for this tournament. She
Really?
was championing it towards the beginning because they had to bid like for all these tournaments.
Yeah.
And so she's a real ambassador for it, and she's gonna be there. And remind me where it's.
It's at the Wembley Stadium.
Oh my god!
I know.
Yeah, so it's a big deal, and it's February, end of February.
Yeah, so 28th of February and
So cool.
oh, sorry, of January and the 1st of February. So I
Coming
think
up.
1st of February is the final and the 28th is the semi-finals. So it's
Nice.
basically, in a nutshell,
Yeah.
all of the Champions League winners from all of the
Oh, wow.
continents.
Yeah.
So you in the UEFA, you have obviously Arsenal that won,
And then you list the rest.
and then the rest I don't know for sure.
I know there's a South African team and an American team.
American
So
and then
that's-
Asian.
Yeah,
think.
and it should be right.
Yeah, there's four.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so
It's gonna be
yes.
fun though to see all these countries, different levels, different leagues
Different
that we don't-
style of
Yeah,
football for sure.
That's cool.
So yeah, they're competing for the first ever Women's Champions Cup. Yeah, looking forward to see that.
Nice.
Which is the end of this month. Then later in February, if I'm right, the Champions League will commence again. So the round of 16 will happen with home and away games. So 11th and the 12th of Feb for the home games or away games. I don't know how you call it. The first leg, sorry,
yeah,
that's
the
it.
first legs,
And the
yeah.
second leg, 18th and 19th of Feb.
Very good.
So that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I have on my list.
Spring is springing.
Spring
Think
is
you need to
spring.
get out of winter. Get in
Yes,
there.
please, no winter break
Yeah.
anymore. We're back at
We're
it.
back, yeah. It's been great reuniting. I feel like
Yeah.
the gang is back together.
We're all wearing the same.
It's where it all began. The first time we wore it was together as well. Full circle.
Amazing. Well, thank you both for joining. As always, Aldona, thank you.
Tammy. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Aldona.
If you have any topics, if you want to follow us, please give us a like and subscribe on Instagram and YouTube at Footie Femme Fatale. On Instagram, you see weekly updates from me. That was my New Year's resolution about all of the local leagues. And yeah, share with your friends if you want to. If you want to talk about football, we're here for you.
Yeah.
Any final remarks?
We'll be back together not too long next time, right?
Yeah. Thank you, girls.
Aw, thanks.
Thanks, everyone. See you. Stay calm.
Bye.
Bye. Doei.
Doei.